The real story. This is a part of the show where we usually expose how the media isn't telling you the truth. But tonight, I'm going to shift gears and expose someone else who is lying to you. Last night, Iranian President Ahmedinejad, we like to call him President Tom on this program, went on 60 Minutes to kick off his U.S. media propaganda tour. And here are a few of his greatest lies.
Obviously, are very much against any terrorist action and any killing.
Mr. President, can you tell me that you are not sending weapons to Iraq? Very simple, very directly.
We don't need to do that.
For the sake of clarity, because there is so much concern in the world about this next question, please give me the most direct answer you can. Is it your goal to build a nuclear bomb?
You have to appreciate, we don't need a nuclear bomb. We don't need that.
I have to tell you, I looked into his eyes last night and all I saw was evil. This guy oozes evil. Anyway, to sum up the whole interview, Iran doesn't need to send bombs into Iraq. They don't need a nuclear weapon. They hate war. They love peace and teddy bears. Just in case you think that's, maybe what he really thinks, he's being less than honest with you. President Tom made sure to slip in this little bit of reassurance.
What I'm saying, I am being very sincere here. I'm a Muslim. I cannot tell lies.
Oh, well, apparently now he's the George Washington of all of Iran. Unfortunately for us, the real story is that in some warped views of Islam, lying is not only permissible, but it is encouraged, so long as that lie will further the cause. The cause? I'll tell you exactly what that cause is here in just a bit, but the point is, we must stop pretending that this man's threats are empty. When I was about 30 years old and I'm trying to figure out life, I picked up and bought a copy of Mein Kampf for the very first time. I didn't read it for Hitler's propaganda. I knew who that guy was. I read it to answer one question that had been bothering me since I was a kid. Did the Germans know what Hitler was planning on doing? The answer, unfortunately, was yes. And while I know it's hard to admit, someday the world may very well look back at us with the same question I had when I read Mein Kampf. Did they know? Then they'll watch Ahmadinejad's interviews, they'll read his speeches, they'll listen to his threats, and they will wonder why. In the famous words of Edmund Burke, why did good men do nothing? Dr. Zuhdi, he is the founder of the American Islamic Forum for Democracy. Zuhdi, Muslims in America, non-Muslims in America, everybody is turning a blind eye to this guy and not taking him at his word. Big mistake, huge mistake.
Very, very big mistake, Glenn. I can't emphasize that more. And that, he disgraces Muslims. And by saying that because he's a Muslim, he can't lie. This man hasn't said a truth in his entire life. He is a born liar and uses the religion for his own power trip. And as the senator said today, he's a megalomaniac. And for us to give him a podium and to allow him to spread his vile, I got a press release today from CARE saying this is time for dialogue with the Iranian president. And give me a break. I mean, this guy has suffocated dissidents. He's suffocated journalists and students. And to come to a university and teach them about democracy and free speech is the summit of hypocrisy.
I mean, why is it that people don't take him at his word when he says, I'll run Jews into the sea? Soon, the West will burn with the fire of the Islamic fury. What does it take?
It's interesting. My family, a few generations ago, escaped the oppression of the Ba'athists in Syria. And we are taught in my family to remember that because we can't forget. I think Americans and many in the West seem to have forgot what dictators and thuggery and thugs can do. And we can't allow ourselves to be lulled into complacency by living in the freedom and liberty of America and not looking these people in the face and looking at their societies where they stone women, where they deny gays full rights, and it's pathetic for us not to know this and talk about it.
Zuhdi, did in that note from CARE, did they say that they were protesting at all his anything that he said?
Absolutely not. And just as the Khatami visit a year ago, they said that it's a time for dialogue. No criticism about human rights. No criticism about free speech in Iran. No encouragement of dissidents to change that government from a theocracy to a liberal, freedom-loving democracy, not just for Democrats and democracies to control the minority, but to give free rights for the minority.
Well, I have to tell you, Zuhdi, thank you very much for everything that you do. I have to tell you, America, I'm going to write to the National Organization of Women, GLAAD, CARE. I would really like to hear where they were. Why are they not protesting someone that says homosexuals should be killed and women should be stoned to death and who are so grossly misusing their religion? That'll be on tomorrow's program. Hopefully we'll have an update. Now, when President